Welcome to the show. My name is Lee, and this is 94.3 Radio 1. I've got the very talented Santanu Hazarika with me. Now, he is an artist, and he is a brilliant artist. His artwork is phenomenal. He's one of the fastest selling NFTs. He has the record for the fastest selling NFT, and with Raftar, if I'm not wrong.
No, that was with Ritviz. I had done Raftar's album artwork, his first album actually, which came out.
The NFT that sold in 37 seconds was with Ritviz.
Yeah, it was with Ritviz.
And you've also done so much more. I want to know everything about you. I want to know exactly who Santanu is. So I want you to give me an introduction about yourself as well, so that we have this. And welcome to the No Cap Show.
Thank you for having me. It's a lovely morning.
It is.
So do you want a shorter version, like a one-liner about what I do and my art, or do you want a longer version? See, I can sum it up in just one line. Basically, if you want both, and I'll give you both. First is I look at the short one is I'm basically a kid who loves to draw.
Okay.
I have not grown up. This habit of drawing is still there. I vandalize things. I draw everywhere, on cars, on walls, people's, everything, and I've made a living out of it.
Wow.
Simply put, that's the shorter story. The bigger story, I'll go with my formal introduction. I'm a self-taught visual artist, a multidisciplinary visual artist. I practice with a variety of mediums, starting from I paint murals, I curate shows, I do analog stuff, I paint, I do digital artworks, I do branding projects, I all over the place. I design sneakers, I design clothes, I mint NFTs, and basically whole workshops. So it's a whole bunch of things. Anything to do with visual art or anything that you see is something that I am doing. So that's the kind of my broader introduction. I have a big roster of clients that I've worked with, starting from Red Bull International to Adidas, to Reebok, and many Dust of Gods, and bunch of other big names in the industry. So yeah, that's what I do. I just paint and draw. Make stuff.
You're every little kid's dream, honestly speaking. The little kid coloring in the sketchbook, you're like, man, I want to grow up and do the same thing. I think you just kept doing it, didn't you? You just kept on doing this.
Yes, I kept on doing that. Actually, that's the only most consistent thing that I've been at it, basically. It's just years of
so throughout engineering college as well, when you dropped out of engineering college, and so throughout, were you you were doodling? Did you know you wanted to do that completely?
No, I was actually this actually is because of this social construct that we have in place, which tells you that there is no career as an artist or a designer. Yeah. Where I come from, it's a small city, Guwahati in Assam. So back then there was not much exposure to art or design or any of those things. So my parents, also my relatives, they also didn't know better. So for them, the only safe choice of to be employed would be
an engineer, yeah,
or a doctor or stuff like that. So that way, I didn't know that I can be how to say, a professional in this field.
Right.
So for the longest time of my life, I've only been thinking, okay, art is a hobby. And that's what they made you believe. Art is just a hobby. You do it as a side thing, ooh, nice painting of a cow, drawing of this, or that, and stuff like that. But then I was always fascinated by comic books and anime and mangas. So I always was trying to copy them. I was trying to copy and replicate those artworks and characters. So that's what I used to do most of the time since a young age. So I just kept drawing. And then I had basic art class in school, which we all have.
We all have that, yeah.
Have an art class, or a nice art teacher will come and you'll draw some hills and a river and
One
And
bird, some birds in the back. Yeah, yeah. I don't know
yeah,
why that's a standard picture for everyone, no, in like the younger classes.
yeah,
And everyone do the exact same thing.
exactly. Everyone does. I mean, I guess that's how it is. If you do something different than
Yeah.
that, then I think either you have some problem or you're like a genius. Like you're basically a Kanye or someone like that. that. So, so then I dropped out of engineering because I was in a really bad situation because I was really depressed. I
Okay.
have had mental health issues in the past, and I was just miserable basically. And then I had no other option. Like there's no plan B, C, D, or anything. Art was my only plan and only backup. That's it.
I'm so glad you did it as well. Like it's phenomenal. Your art is beautiful. Do you remember the first time you picked up an or a comic book and you're like, okay, this is great. I want to copy this. Do you remember which comic book that was?
I think that was let me actually, the weird thing is the first comic books that I used to read. I remember Phantom Comics.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah, Diamond Comics. So Phantom was one of the earliest ones that I was introduced to. But then here comes the twist and tail. I got introduced to Image Comics at a very early age. Like
Wow.
we had a secondhand book place where they always used to sell like hand-me-downs. And I would save up some money, like extra pocket money and stuff like that. And I will go to that store and I pick up whichever comic book had the most fanciest cover art on it.
Nice.
And to my surprise, like I found Spawn. I discovered Spawn. And
Whoa.
and I was really young and I had no idea. Like forget issue numbers. I didn't care. Like the
You
cover
saw
looks,
Spawn, you wanted Spawn. Yeah,
yeah.
the cover.
I was like, what is this character? Look at all those, like his cape is so detailed and it's so huge. Like
Yeah.
Batman can eat shit. Like Spawn's cape is something that is magnificent. So I was like, I was blown away. The whole black, red, and the whole combination, the darkness that the character had was like too intriguing for me. So I think Spawn would be the first guy to actually inspired me to like to make art in that direction, basically. And Image Comics have like really good artists,
Yeah.
especially because the like highly detailed work. And I always admire the artistic illustrate like the illustrations of Image Comics more than DC, Marvel, or any of the other comic books.
Wow, that's beautiful. I mean, Image Comics are actually very, very interesting, right? And the artwork is phenomenal. Have you ever thought about drawing for Image Comics?
Like I don't mind doing a cover,
Right,
but
right, the cover. Yes.
I get really bored with repetitive figure drawings.
Yeah.
So I would love to do a cover, like a tribute cover or a variant cover for Spawn, Pit, or Ripclaw, any of those characters.
Very cool. I think, tell me about Dilate Ink. I'd like to know more about Dilate Ink.
Okay, so Dilate. Oh shit, you went there. So I was in college, probably second year, where one of my senior, we wanted to start a clothing brand.
Interesting.
And just before there was like streetwear, all this other brands like coming up and doing the stuff right now that right now you have so many local brands, you have so many like amazing streetwear brands in India who are doing amazing, all homegrown. But like back in Guwahati, Assam, there was no concept of like no, they had
streetwear. Yeah.
But they had no idea this is called streetwear.
Right.
Like they didn't coin that term back there at that moment, but we had a different style altogether. Definitely, we had a different whole street culture, which was not commercialized like how it is right now. So we started a small brand called Dilate Ink. I used to do graphic t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, and we used to sell them at the local streetwear brands where you could get like all sort of blinks like punk accessories and like goth wares and all those stuff, like metal t-shirts. And also we used to sell in that store, those stores. We used to sell it in college festivals. And unfortunately, we couldn't sustain it because we were kids basically. It's just
Right.
running around making t-shirts and selling them like hoodies and all. So it was my first venture into sort of like making clothes or making art like a commodity.
Mhm.
So I think that's about Dilate Inc.
So I want to, I think, I mean, it's a very cool concept that you know, make t-shirts and sell them at a, you know, streetwear. I think that whole entire concept of street itself is a very, very cool thing. Like I'm a huge into street. Like, you know, I think the whole idea of wearing baggy clothes and that whole vibe itself, it contributes a lot. And I think the artwork that goes into that is so important. How would you define, if you would try to define that artwork in any particular way, apart from street, what would you call it?
See, I would say it's most of the street where I feel like how it stands out is
Mhm.
by being different and styled in a unique way, and then a lot of graphic elements. Like it
Yeah.
can be minimal, at the same time it can be very graphic in nature. Like for example, like Bobby Hunter's China, like Market or Chinatown.
Mhm.
Uh, so they're very illustrative in this style. Like it's very graphic printed T-shirts which go out. So that I'd consider as like a key thing about streetwear. Like it's pop, but at the same
Right.
time it's styled in a different way. It always stands out, and it's unique. And I think that's what differentiates, and that's what I feel like art comes into play. Like for me, I look at the graphic side of it, like what's
Mhm.
there, how they've designed it, what's the print on it, basically.
Interesting, interesting. Um, you won the Red Bull Doodle art competition, right?
Hmm.
Tell me about that entire experience.
Okay, I can never go tired of answering this question. so, so that was my first, what to say, the key turning point in my life.
Mhm.
Like my venture into the realm of art and design.
Perfect.
Oh, so what happened is, I was in fourth year of engineering, and I was like in depression, like really manic depression. I was
Mhm.
clinically depressed. I was on medication, and I was failing miserably in my engineering. Like I was doing mechanical engineering, and
Oh
it was
no.
really bad. Oh no, it was really bad. Nobody understood what I wanted to do. Like I said, it's the whole social construct, lack of awareness, which adds to it, and you're always judged, or you're basically people fail to understand or
Yeah.
empathize with the situation. And so what happened is my fourth year. By that time, what happened? I am always doodling and sketching in my notebooks. I sit in the last bench. I don't know what the teacher taught me, or like it always went off, or like it's. I mean, yeah,
If
I
you, I
could.
think if you paid attention, maybe it would have like probably gotten, but I think you didn't care about it, did you?
I kind of didn't, to be honest, because I didn't want to do it. So it
Mm,
was
right.
kind of like rebellion, like a statement, like
Right.
try your best, but I'm gonna keep doing what I like doing. And my college was very strict, so like
Mhm.
attendance and all that shit, like 75%. Otherwise, you don't get to sit for your exams
Dude,
and
I
all.
was in Christ, okay, in Bangalore. The
Uh,
attendance policy is 85%.
oh yeah, I know. I have Christ, and that's so
It
bad.
was horrible. But I know what you mean. I'm also one of those backbenchers. Just to pure for the fun of it, because I like the backbench guys. Those are the cool guys. That's for the
Yeah,
art. My friends and all is just doodle in the back, and I just we watch them. I'm like, nice man. Doodle
yeah.
me, dude.
So yeah, I was one of those guys. So it's gonna be me and two of my friends who just sit in the back bench, like the back bench, the last bench. I'd
Mhm.
be drawing on my notebooks or the table or on my desk, and then we'll be talking about movies and music. So both of my friends were kind of like misfits.
Mhm.
So all three of us were misfits, to be honest. My entire life, I've been a misfit. Like wherever I go, I'm like, it's hard for me to actually like blend
Mhm.
into whatever's happening. Like I hate the notion of construct or to conform,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
So either it's going to be like a lot of music or art, like movies or art movies that we always keep talking about, and I would be drawing and sketching something of those sorts. Like Jodorowsky is one of my favorite movie makers,
Mhm.
and his films are like art films. And then music, we talk about metal music and all those stuff, and I'll be drawing the album covers of all the death metal bands that I listen to. So it was all of that mixed together. And then I had to sit for 8 hours every day and to do something that I didn't like or was never passionate about and I couldn't understand. And it was kind of like like harassment for me because I kept
Mm.
failing. The teachers would
Yeah.
have to, what are you doing? Like they make you feel more bad. And engineering teachers, I don't know about all the colleges, but they can be really brutal, like merciless.
Damn.
So uh, by the time I had already got a sort of a reputation locally among my friends, because
Mhm.
outside of college, all my friends, all my best friends, my close friends, everyone, even my younger brother, they're all musicians. They're
Wow.
all metal bands and rock bands and this, that, rappers and all. So I could never sing or draw or like sing, sorry, not sing or play any instrument. So basically, and I always loved music. So what I did, okay, maybe I can just do the album artworks because all these years of drawing and sketching and copying characters as a kid and then growing up doing album artworks from death metal bands, like getting inspired off of that. So I was like, okay, I'll do it for you guys, my friends, and all. Okay, I'll do your album cover, I'll do your single cover. Like, just pay me $500 or just get me 2 beers, or maybe get me take care of my entry for your
Yeah.
show. So basically, that was the deal, and I was just doing for fun. And I started doing some work for my friends and all, like Dark Carnage, Tickstock. All these bands were huge locally,
Mhm.
especially Dark Carnage. So I started making artworks for them, and then people started following me on Facebook. I got more friends. Then one fine day, Spandan, I think, yes, a friend of mine tagged me in a very random ass this thing post was Red Bull World Doodle Art Championship calling for entries.
Super.
And then I was like, huh. And he's like, bro, you should go do it. I've been seeing you do that all these years. So why don't you take part in this? So I was like, anyways, life is just hell for me. Might as well give this a chance also. So I started, by the time I was also reading up on like a lot of mythology, a lot of philosophy, and a lot of metaphysics.
Mhm.
Like I was doing my separate study on science, which is not engineering, because
Yeah, yeah.
I always loved science. Even now, I'm a big nerd. So
Dude, same. Like
so
I
what
did. So I before you sorry, I did PCMB in not college, but like in my high school, I did ISC to 11th and 12th, and I'm a huge science nerd as well. So I'm really huge into metaphysics and philosophy as well. Like I
oh,
have, if I just pull up some books right now, you'll see like
uh,
Plato and Aristotle and everything,
oh
and
shit, old
a lot of
science.
them. Yeah, that's the honestly I like that. But I did science, but I realized after I finished science that I couldn't do science. Like I'm
Uh,
too lazy to do science. Again, I'm a misfit as well. And I was like,
uh,
okay, I think I'll go to the art section. I think I just take a stream down that road.
yeah, that's the thing. No, like science in itself as like science is also very constrictive in some nature,
Yeah.
but then so the greatest scientists are free thinkers.
Yes, they're philosophers more than scientists, and that's where they
Exactly.
draw their
Like
science from.
science ends, philosophy begins.
Yes, yes. I
So
think philosophy is the start of everything, and then science is just in between. Like
yeah,
it's all part and parcel of the entire thing. It's just beautiful.
exactly, exactly. So and then he tagged me, and I was like, I took part in the competition. Then I like there was like few, I think about lakh or two entries from India itself,
Wow.
or maybe thousand. I forgot the numbers. It was a lot of like because it's happening all like across the
This year,
country.
I think we have 1.3 billion people. I think a lakh is the correct answer. I think definitely there have been lakhs of. Oh, I know he dropped out.
So sorry, lost you
Huh.
there. So what
No
were we
worries, no worries. You were saying that we said we got a lakh people entries. I think
saying?
I said
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah,
it was like a lot of entries like for the competition, and I took part in it. like it was happening all throughout all the colleges
Mhm.
and all the universities and schools and everywhere. So you can imagine how many entries were there
Right.
across India. So I took part in it. I won the national round. Then the finals were being held in Cape Town, which was the design capital back
Right.
in 2014.
Wow.
So that was my first ever trip outside of India, and that too for my art. So I
That's
was very
amazing.
exciting, and everyone around me is like, for real? Like for doodling, you're like, come on, is it real? I'm like, yeah, buddy, I'm going. Bye.
You're going.
So I went for the finals in South Africa, and then I guess I'm
You won.
grateful. I won the international round too. So I became the first ever like Red Bull World Doodle Art champion. And then I got my first contract from with Red Bull International. I designed like a super limited edition T-shirt for them,
God.
sold all across the world as like a few numbered pieces, like it's just like a doodle art edition Red Bull merch. So that happened, and then I was like, I called up my folks, and I'm like, I quit.
I quit.
I'm done. That this is something like now my I've proved everyone that I can be good at what I want to do.
Yeah.
Now you have to give me that shot. I deserve it.
I think you're
So
an inspiration to a lot of artists out there. A lot of people who are like, I think who are in a field that they don't want to be in. And if you had a message to give to these people, one message to the guys who are not happy where they are and they want to move on from this, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that just keep at it. Like it might take 2 years, 2 days, it might take 10 days, or it might take 10 years or 20 years. But if you really believe in something, if you're really passionate about something, like no matter what, like how many people tell you that it's not worth it, it's not gonna happen. Like you just have to be strong and you have to hold your fort. You have to keep at it. It won't happen overnight,
Mhm.
and always have fun with it. Like
Right.
because you also see passion can drive you to a point. Passion can always like you can be driven with passion. It can keep driving you. It can keep like pushing you. But then if you lose the simple essence of enjoying what you do,
Mhm.
if you simply lose that, then it becomes a bit difficult.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit difficult for you to keep at it with the same passion. Obviously, you can be very driven, but if you're not enjoying what you're doing, if you're not actually uh, really giving it your 100%, because
Yeah.
complete commitment also requires for you to give complete, like be fulfilling. It should be fulfilling for you as an artist or as a person. So I think that's something that you need to keep at it. You must always have fun with your artwork, like indulge it. When I mean fun, it doesn't mean that, oh, it's funny, it's nice.
Yeah.
No, it should be amusing and fulfilling,
Yes.
satisfying for you, and don't care about other people. Like it's a very simple lesson. Like the moment you stop changing around people around you and you work on yourself and your own art, the people change around.
Mm.
You don't have to change. So I think that's what I would like to say to any of those artists who are out there who are facing the same problem or ask the same questions that I was asked. Like, what will art do for you? Like, where will you go with this? What's the point to all of this? Like, you just have to be patient and be like, like my art will speak for itself.
We'll see. Yeah. Just like a
Will
we'll see. Yeah.
It's fine. I like doing it. I'll keep doing it. You don't have to tell me that I need to do this or that. Like as an artist, any form of construct, any form of thing, like things which bind you or hold you back is detrimental.
Mm.
I think it's as simple as that, but it's not.
How important is mythology in your artwork?
uh,
Do you
I,
draw
I,
from
I-
that?
yes, actually, it's very crucial because most of my, as a person,
Mhm.
Most of my perception of life
Mhm.
comes from mythology, comes from like old Greek mythologies, the stories, like, and even Hindu philosophies and
Mm.
mythology from Mahabharata or the Upanishads. Because my grandmom used to tell me all of the stories, especially from Mahabharata and Krishna stories. So I grew up because she practically raised me in a
Mm.
way. She was like a full-time Krishna bhakt, and she would only tell me stories, and day in and day out. It would fascinate me. Because before I was introduced to cartoons or any of that sort, like comic books or anything, I was introduced to all these lovely stories my grandmom used to tell me. And
Mm.
later, when I grew up and I started studying more about in depth about all of this, it made sense. My whole childhood made sense to me in a way. So that's why I think it plays a very important role as a person of as a person. Like personally, it's very
Mm.
meaningful for me, and it sort of guides me in making my choices and decisions in life, basically. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for my grandmom for that.
That's
And
beautiful.
so yeah,
That's
and the
beautiful.
thing is, my first artwork which I did,
Mm.
uh, which won the world championship, is actually inspired of works by Devdutt Patnaik. So
Wow.
so that was quite something for me. Like,
That's amazing. That's beautiful. I would like to know more about the Guwahati art project.
uh, okay, so like I said, we had so much trouble, or we faced so much. We had to cross so many hurdles to actually, like me as an artist,
Mhm.
to like start my career as an artist. My career took off on or I started making art after becoming a world champion. That's when I actually started to learn like about the world of art and design. Up till then,
Wow.
doing sketching and doodling my notebooks and my art book. That's it. But after that, I didn't even know how to draft emails, by the way, till then. So only after winning that, I started working with brands. I started working with clients. During that period only, I've learned everything. I've learned everything on the job.
My
Started
God, that's amazing, man.
designing to directing to like fashion designing or branding projects. Everything I've learned on the job. I would say yes to everything. Like
Mhm.
max to max kya hoga? I'll just lose out on the job. My life won't end. I
Yeah,
won't
I think
die.
that's a great say yes to everything. That's a
Yeah, I
great
mean,
philosophy to work with.
but don't say yes to a lot of things too.
Yeah, say no to something, definitely. Something you'll say no to.
Yeah,
But
always say yes to good opportunity and work.
yeah, yeah.
So that I learned everything on the job. And so yeah, because I had no mentors
Mhm.
from, and there were no inspirations or public figure who came from the same community or locality. Like, there are not many artists where I'm from. There are not many designers who are doing really like different, or are exploring on a very global scale.
Mhm.
So that was very hard to actually pinpoint people around you and actually to go for mentoring, basically seeking advice. So it was me and a group of fellow artists from the city of Guwahati, artists and designers and architects. So it's
Mhm.
me, Prantar, Abhishek, Amolendu, and our late friend Ajay. All of us are like, well, some of them are graphic designers, some of them are animators. One is an architect who's
Mhm.
an amazing architect. He's like a scientist architect. And then
Wow.
yeah, and me as an artist. We all came together, and we discussed all the problems, and like, we shouldn't let this happen to our younger generations. Like, we have so much talent
Mhm.
in our place in our community that we need to build a design dialogue. We need to fill that gap that exists right now, like connecting the Northeast or Assam to the rest of the world, and
Mm.
posing them, or it's like a cultural exchange of ideas and dialogue, which revolves around art and design. So that was the whole idea behind Gap. So we came together, and the name was coined by our late friend Ajay, who unfortunately passed away in an accident. And
That's very sad. I'm so sorry.
so he was one of the most celebrated graphic designers in Guwahati.
Mhm.
And so after he passed away, it was like this was a final project that we all discussed to work on. I think it's time that in the name of our friend, our late friend Ajay, we should solidify this and start get to work basically, because we're all busy with our own projects.
Right.
So we started Gap. Then so under Gap we have a huge community of artwork, like artists and designers who we constantly exchange work, portfolios. We talk about different design projects, and then we host workshops. Like we have this annual workshop, like workshop event called Gap Talks, Guwahati Art
Mhm.
Project Talks, where we invite key speakers and designers from all across the world, and they get to interact with artists from Guwahati, Assam, and the Northeast, basically. And then there's an exchange of ideas and processes where we also speak, we host them, and it's fun. We have sketch meetups, we have urban sketching walks where we go around the city sketching live art, doing like sketching the architecture people. So, and it's all kids, like younger kids who come on board, like young designers, artists. Like it's really fun and nice. And that's the thing, like I said, like it should be fulfilling, it should be
Yeah.
a fulfilling experience. And that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we're trying to teach and create something unique, and like give all these artists a platform or more exposure in the most nicest way possible.
I think when your art is rooted in philosophy, and I think when someone is really true to themselves, then the art speaks for itself. And I think art is so beautiful because it is the first form of cultural change that you see happening, actually speaking. Right? I
Yeah,
think throughout the Renaissance, whatever you see, they always look at the artwork and see how does the art change from now. And I think this is a huge revolution that we're actually going through. We don't even realize it. It's
yeah,
beautiful at the same time. It's amazing. And I'm so happy that we have young artists like you, like yourself, and people who are actually creating a dialogue. I think that's so important.
it is
Creating
very
a dialogue is such an important aspect of society.
like yesterday. I was at an event.
Mhm.
I was on stage, and the host asked me, "What do you think? How important is art for bringing about a social change?" And to put it simply, I always say, see, art is like a summary of a community or a
Yeah.
civilization. We remember that civilization, that culture because of the art, because
Art.
art
Yep.
survives. Art will always be there. It will survive. It will find the most creative way to survive and tell a story.
Yep.
So, and all the revolutions, like if you talk about the French revolutions, like, or if you talk about Russian politics or propaganda or anything that has to do with politics and policy change, there's always visuals attached to it. There's
Mm.
always music attached to it. There's theater attached to it. So these are all contributing factors of
Yes.
actually uh, building a society, building a general notion or a dialogue,
Yep.
or framing a particular mindset among the population. So I think that's how art is very important. That's why dialogue is very important.
Yes. And for people who think that you have to become an engineer or choose a science stream to do anything, look at both of us. We left science and we're still doing pretty well for ourselves, I think. I mean, I would say that we
Yeah,
climbing the
exactly.
ladders. I think
Yeah,
at least I'm still climbing the ladder. You've already reached the top of the ladder. You're
I
climbing one more
mean,
ladder.
yeah, I need escalators now.
Dude, I want to talk. Tell me what your favorite anime right now is and what are you watching right now?
Right now I'm actually watching One Piece.
Okay, a lot of my friends are watching One Piece too. I'm just like, guys, how do you have the time to sit and watch One Piece? Don't you have like it's like
I've been
thousand
following
episodes?
One
For
Piece
a while.
a long time. I'm
Yeah.
at the end, like
Ah,
waiting for new episodes.
right,
So
right,
not
right.
not starting like fresh. They're like thousand something episodes.
I'm
So
so scared to start because I'm like, man, if I start, when will I finish? When will I come to where you are?
so I'm too, because the manga is also coming to a conclusion.
Okay.
So even with the series also, it's sort of towards the end. So so I'm right now watching that because I don't get much time anymore to watch a whole lot of
Mm.
animes anymore. But then One Piece is something I really dedicated to it since a long time. I'm committed to it since a long time.
Mhm.
So I'm still watching that. So whenever a little time I get, I just watch One Piece.
That's amazing. Your top 5 animes. I want your top 5.
Oh, damn. Top 5 animes. It's hard to pick, bro. Shit. So, okay, top 5 then. I'll talk about the recent ones that I've watched.
Mm.
Would be first Doro Hedoro.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, I really love the Doro Hedoro. But I also read a lot of mangas. So can I put in a manga also?
Yeah,
Like
of course. We can.
Chainsaw Man.
Mm.
Then I also like this one. Naruto is one of my all-time favorite. I love Naruto. Then One Piece, Hellsing, then shit, Berserk.
Berserk. Berserk is
Yeah,
great.
yes.
I don't see Attack on Titan there. I don't know why. I don't see Attack on Titan anywhere. Have you not? Are you watching?
Yeah, Attack on Titan is also there. But you said top 5.
Honest, yeah. Honestly, dude, if you start like putting everything, I'm like, oh
But
yeah, that's also
in that
there.
case, then obviously I'll also put in Dragon Ball Z because that was my earliest
Yeah,
introduction to anime was
anime,
Dragon
right,
Ball Z.
right.
So it's one of my most icon like I have like I'm nostalgic when it comes to
With
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z.
I
Yeah.
played all the video games, starting from the Game Boy ones to the
Wow.
PlayStation ones. I've watched all the Dragon Ball Z movies. I've watched all the episodes,
Oh my
everything.
God.
Like right now, Dragon Ball Z is super
Super.
also done. So it's like even Dragon Ball Z, yeah, that one has to be there because I used to collect Dragon Ball Z pencil boxes back in
Oh,
the late 90s, 1999 to 2000. Like when Dragon Ball Z was not even aired in India.
right.
And then we used to get a lot of counterfeit Dragon Ball Z boxes back home,
Okay.
and nobody knew what are these
What
characters.
this is?
What is this? Why are the eyes like this? Why are the hair changing in every box? Are they the same characters? Like, why is the clothes getting torn? Like, who are these different? Like, we were only introduced to comic books and Indian, like the Cartoon Network cartoons, which are
Mm.
very different. We were never introduced to Japanese anime or
Yeah,
manga
yeah.
artworks or illustrations. So, as a kid, I was like, "Whoa, this is completely different. This is so cool." So I used to collect all the Dragon Ball Z boxes and I used to copy all the characters. And that was my first introduction to, I would say, anime would be Dragon Ball Z.
Wow. Dragon DBZ for the win. I mean, like I used to have these Dragon Ball Z action figures when they came out. I used to have all of them. I had Gogeta. No, I had Vegeta, Goku, and Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 and Goku Super Saiyan 2. It's amazing. It was good fun.
I wish we had that as kids, but right now I do have. I recently I got the like super legendary Super Saiyan Broly figurine.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
that one.
Amazing.
And
Thank you. You have to?
And a Goku.
And a
Then
Goku.
I also have the Dragon Ball Z Adidas Dragon Ball Z collection sneakers. So
Man, make me jealous over here, man. Thank you so much for talking to me. It's been a great time. Santanu Hazarika is in the makeshift studio. I'm talking to him, and it's been such a fun time. I would like to ask you one small request. If you could either doodle me or like the radio station logo, that would be really great. And we'll put it up on our socials. And if you can record it, when you do it, it'd be really, really cool.
Cool. I'll do something. I'll doodle.
Yes.
Like Pencha has always been, like this is also kind of like a class going on. So
94.3 Radio 1.